Hello, hello. Let's talk about Mars today. Oh, my favorite planet. Not Mars, as you may or may not know, is one of two malefics along with Saturn in astrology. Um, with most signs, people want to focus on the positive aspects, the happy things. Not so much with Aries and Saturn. So, Aries is named after the god Aries, the god of war. He is a warrior. He likes to fight, to defend, um, to cut. He's known for cutting things, separating things. Sometimes that's a positive thing, like surgery. It's a good thing. Well, sometimes it's a good thing. So that's I keep kind of laughing because I have a very pronounced Mars in my chart. My chart is almost entirely, or it's ruled completely by Mars. So I have Mars and the Sun together in Aries in an angular house, the fourth. Angular houses give more strength to the planets and the sign that rules them. Mars is at home in Aries. It rules Aries and Scorpio in Hellenistic astrology, not modern. Hmm. And the sun is there too. In Aries, the sun is exalted, which is a good thing. But I always worry about that Mars right there with the sun. I might have a little bit of a temper, a lot of fire. And in addition to that, I have the moon in Scorpio, which is ruled by Aries. So, two out of my big three signs, your rising sign, your sun, and your moon, are the three big three signs. Two of the three are ruled by Mars, a malefic. And the third, my rising sign, is Capricorn. So it's ruled by Saturn, the other malefic. And I'm in, this is a little advanced, a Mars perfection year, which means Mars is emphasized my chart this year. And it's currently retrograde, or not retrograde, it's currently in its detriment in Cancer and is going to be going to retrograde this year. Oh, I just need to stay in bed. But anyway, so let's go on to Mars because, in addition to a lot of the negative things that people see about Mars, conflict, war, violence, um, bloodshed, there are a lot of positive things too. Because Mars can stir up a lot of shit, but he also gives you the tools to handle that shit. And, the thing with malefics, people see them as very bad. They're called malefics. Hello. But they teach lessons that really help you learn to survive. And there's a certain thing, one of the spiritual tenets in any kind of spirituality is that you have to give up something, you have to sacrifice something to gain something. And I think the challenges offered by Mars and Saturn also help us grow and it also help us appreciate things more. There was a moment in the induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for the Red Hot Chili Peppers, where Chris Rock was introducing them, and he was talking about all the things the band had gone through, but how they were also very positive and joyful. And he said, it's the kind of happy you have to go through sad to get to. Mars and Saturn, the malefics, can do that. So, but Mars is not one to sit around and be passive. Mars takes action. It will drive you to take action and drive your drive to succeed or do whatever. That will come from Mars. Courage. When you're facing your difficulties, you will have the courage to get through them. It gives you passion for something. Some people are competitive. It can be very competitive, especially in sports, movement, action, activity. Yes, it can be aggressive, which can be a little negative, but it can be assertive, which is a different spin on aggression. It can be assertive and give you the confidence to move forward, or at least the courage to, even if you're facing something pretty daunting. Um, it's desire, physical strength. it's, it's the jock or I hate this term, the alpha male, but it can be an alpha female too. It's not just for men. I can vouch for that. Um, but it can be impulsive, tends to kind of like conflict, can be um, very, very sexual. Okay, just say it. Well, and think about Venus, who is a benefic for night, Mars, who is the malefic for night, because we have day charts, night charts. That's another topic. But they're paired together. Do you all know that couple that are always fighting all the time and screaming at each other, but they never separate? Hmm. But it can be kind of a spicy relationship. That's Mars. So he's very much not at home with doing domestic things, but the king of the household. So, but separation, he is known for separating things, uh, for conflict, survival. He can help you endure the difficulties of life. Very willful, quite a handful. Believe me, I know. I was watching the astrology podcast, and Rick Levine was on there talking about the difference between Mars and Aries and Mars and Scorpio. And he said, Mars is like a machine gun. We're just random fire all over the place. Whereas Scorpio is a sniper's rifle. It's like, ooh. So the anger and aggression and action can be kind of scattered. It's a real challenge to kind of bring it into focus. Believe me, I know. And even in personally, I can speak to when I lose my temper. First of all, it's very ugly. It's the old, don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. But it's, I hate to say this, it can be a little Karen like, not racist or any of that nonsense those people do. But that, when I do that, it's like, just let me get it out of my system. When you need to worry is when I stop and just look at you, because that's the Scorpio. The stinger is coming, the focus, because otherwise the energy is just so scattered. I may be angry, but I'm not focused enough to do anything, really do anything about it. With the Aries, Scorpio is another story. So we'll get to that one. Whew, that's a wild ride. And by the way, Aries, Mars and Aries, very hot, fiery, fire. Scorpio is fixed water, ice, fire and ice. Talk about a recipe for bipolar. I always think of my chart. as you've got Aries and you've got Scorpio. I think of the Chariot card in tarot, and this poor Saturn is holding the reins, trying to control these two. But if there's anybody that can do it, it's Saturn, which we'll get to that one too. That's a doozy. So while Mars create a lot of drama and shit in your life, it can also give you strength. It can give you the willpower to get through those difficult things in your life, those challenges, because we all have them. A little bit of a hothead, but sometimes you need that. And learning to channel it into activity, sports, competition, depending on your placement in the chart. And that's something I haven't touched on in some of these videos. It also depends on your placement and where other planets are in your chart because they're all connected. So if something in a video doesn't resonate with you, that's probably why. And that's also why you need to look at your whole chart, not just your sun sign. In fact, your rising sign is probably more important than your sun sign, depending on what it is, how it's placed, where, like, for instance, with me with Capricorn rising, Saturn, huge focus in my chart. So where it's at, it happens to be in the third house. That's a big area of my life. So you have to look at in the aspects to it, squares, sextiles, trines with other planets. This is just a general overview. These are more advanced topics. So this is what you need to know, a quick overview about Mars. And if you have a sun in Mars or other placements, good luck to you. But you're a tough one too. So, all right. I will see you in the next video. Maybe. All right. Thank you so much. I just got to look for that stop recording button.